Hi everybody. So in this video we're going to be looking at how to create a form with HTML. You know what forms are already, right? Forms are what we use to collect information from our user or from our clients. So we're going to be using we're going to be creating forms with HTML. So let's go to our editor quickly. So this is my Sublime text editor. So what we need to do is create a new file, which you can click on Control N or Command N if you're using a Mac. Then save this file and let's kick off. So if you have saved your file, good. So let's create our basic structure immediately. So let's give the title called form. Good. So to create a form, first thing you need is a form tag. You need this form tag. That's the first thing you need. This is like a wrapper that holds every form, or each and the different forms, right? This is a wrapper that holds different forms. Good. So now let's save this and open on our browser and see what we have. First of all, we're going to have nothing. We're going to have just an empty page. That's it. Just an empty page. So good. So what exactly carries these different boxes where we can type in our information? It's something called an impute tag. So that box is where we could type in our information is created with an impute tag, and this impute tag does not have a closing tag, so it's just something like this. It does not have a closing tag. All right, it's either you write it like this, or you could close it, or you could do it this way, where it's like a self-closing. Well, an impute tag does not have like something. It does not have in CD we have our form open tag and close tag. The impute tag does not have a closing tag, so it's either you do it like this or you leave it like that. Good. So if we save now and go and reload our page, we'll find out that we have a box now where the user can now put in his or her information. All right, you can see that user can now type in something. Good. But that's not all concerning the input box or the input tag. So each input tag should come with a type attribute. What a type attribute does for us is that it automatically fixes, or it tells the user, or it makes that box suitable for whatever information the user is about to put in. I will get my point. So by giving it a type, so let's say I want to get only names. I just want to get names. So I'll create an input type that would accept just names, or that will accept names. If I want to create something else, create an input, I should have an input type that will accept just that kind of information I'm trying to get. So input type helps us pick the information we want our user to fill in. So it makes that box suitable to pick that information or handle that kind of information. So one of the input types we're going to be looking at, the first one we're looking at is input type called, or input type that has the value of text. Alright, so let's give this name first. So let's do label, open and close tag. Let's call this first, let's just say full name and save. Full name and save. Let's reload this. Good, full name and say good. So you can see now, so that this box, so by giving the input type called text, it means you can put in any information at all you want. You can go ahead and put in any information you want inside of this box. Alright, that has to do with alphabets. Although even if you put in numbers, it's going to work. But this text is like a general guide that is mostly used, or a general input type that is mostly used to receive things that have to do with username, your name, anything text related. So you could use that input type called text for that. The next one I want to show you is how to create a submit button. So to create a submit button, you use an input type called submit. So I'm going to clean up this name. I will explain what that does later. We'll create an input type called submit. So by doing this, automatically it creates a button for us. Automatically it creates a button for us. You can see I have a button. So anytime I type in full name AK Igwe AK, I can use this button to submit my form. Alright, I can use this button to submit my form. Good. So that's how you create a button, although I'll definitely explain further about this button. But let's move to the next thing. So another input type we could look at is an input type that allows us fill in information that has to do with our email. Alright, impute. Don't need this name now. So input type, so definitely, so an input type that it's called email would only accept emails. Let me reload this. Good. Let's try something. Let's just type AK and submit. What do you have? So you can see it's bringing out an information for us. It's telling us that please include, so let's do that again. Please include an @ in the email address. AK is missing, and exactly. So that means this would not accept just a text, except we make it something like this. Then it becomes an email. Then we can now submit it, and it goes freely. All right. And that input type we want to look at again is what we use for passwords. So let's bring in our label tag. Let's call this password. Let's bring our label tag and let's call this password our input. Alright, so let's give it a type. Let's call this password. So what this input type or password does is that whenever the user is typing any information inside of this password box, it's always hidden. It will be hidden, so you can see I'm typing, my information I'm typing is hidden, so you get that you would not be able to see what I'm typing in. So that's what the password input type does for us. Password input type, that's what it does for us. The next one I want to show you guys is so what if I want the user to give me a day, month, and year? So I want to collect information like date of birth. What do we do? So let's say, please give us your date of birth. I know most of you see that regularly in forms. So your date of birth. So how do we do that? We'll create our input tag, self-closing, type. What do you think the type would be? Type will be date. Let's save this. Our type will be date. Once we reload this, good. So you can see I have an option where I can select what. So let's click on this first. Even without clicking on this, if I select this, I can type on it. Let's say 12. So you see it has moved 12, 20, 21. You get, all right. Of which I could see it has taken December, which I could select any other time. I could select. Oh, see that's how date of birth works. You use input type called date. So what if I want the user to? So let's say I want the user to select a number. Let's say how many let's just not type how many, it's gonna be too long. Let's do years. Oh no, years of experience. So definitely I need the person to give me a number. So bring in our input type, let's call this number, then we save. Let's reload our page. So this shows us number from whatever number we're thinking of in this life to negative to the positive. So you see we have 1, I can increase to 2, 4. Same way I can decrease and go as much as I want to. Alright, so you can see I have, so I could say 5, I could say 6, I could say as much as I want. Alright, so that I could use that for that. Alright, so let's say I want the user to put in a phone number. I want the user to put in a phone number. So I'll bring in label, let's say phone number. Come in, just put my colon here. Phone number. I'll bring in an input. What do you think the input type would be? So if you're thinking phone number, you are wrong. If you're thinking phone, you are wrong. Our input type will be tell. Our input type will be tell. Our input type will be tell. Because then you can't use this for phone numbers. Our input type will tell, so I can get to type my NT multi plus 2, 3, 4, 8, 1, blah blah blah. Sorry, my UI. Just type whatever. So this is what you use for phone numbers. Use the input type called tell for phone numbers. Alright. So let's say, what if I want the user to hold on? So let me just break this down. Let me just break it down here, so that you can start from another line below. So this is a BR tag break. Just want to break it. Okay, that's fine. No, that's not fine at all. Anyways, let's just continue that way. I felt it was getting too long. Good. So let's say so what if I want the user to upload a document? if I want this user to upload a document for me, what do I do? I want the user to upload it, so let me just sorry my label tag first. So it's not a must to use label tag. You could even use a P tag for it. It's fine. So let's say upload CV. All right. Or let's say resume. Anyone, CV or resume, that's fine. Upload CV, and I put in my impute. Sorry, my impute tag. So for me to be able to accept documents, I'll use a type called, it's not documents, I'll use a type called file. So once I reload my page, you see I get to have an option where I can pick up files in my file explorer. Alright, so you see choose file, you could use that too. Exactly. Alright, so there are a whole lot of input types, but we're just going to be treating this for now. So let's look at other. So you can definitely tell that these types and attributes for this input, right? Let's look at other attributes that our inputs can offer. So one of them we're going to look at is what we call placeholders. So placeholder is supposed to be like a text that gives you a tip of what to expect or what the user should type in. So a placeholder, it always comes inside of that input box, and once the user is about to type, it clears off. So let's say I'm typing so let's say placeholder, let me just type we already have a label showing full name. So I could just do something like this, to say something like John Doe. So it's supposed to give the user an idea of what to put in. I just reload this. Good. So you can say I have John Doe in it. So by looking at it, you can tell that maybe we require you to type in 2 names. So once I start typing, it clears off. Alright. So it's just to give your user a tip on what, or a hint on what to put in. Or if I don't have this label here, let's say I don't have this label tag function in here, I could just come here and just type full name and save. So placeholder is supposed to give your user a hint of what they are expected to fill in their form. So you can see I already have full name here. So if you come to this one, you can tell that I require full name from you. Alright? Cool. So that's what placeholder does. That's what you use the placeholder for. Another input type I want you to use you to is, so another attribute I want you to use you to is another input attribute is what we call name. So name is just acting like the name of this input. What does this input does not have a name? What is the name of this input? Alright. So let's call what should be the name of our input, this input box? Definitely know our input box should be full name, because that's what the input box is being used for. Alright, so this is just like the name of your input box. Although you don't see this at your client side, or my client side, like you don't see this value at the front end here. Alright, you don't see that at the front end. It's mostly used when this form is being submitted. Alright, so we have the name. Alright, that's the name attribute. In the name attribute, and the attribute we have again is value. The value attribute, it is not, you would not really use this value attribute, because your value attribute, the content of your value attribute is what your user is filling in. So whether I have that or not, anything my user types in here becomes my value automatically. Alright, anything user types in here becomes your value automatically. So let's look at something. So I'm going to type value and just type James. It is different from placeholder, totally different from placeholder. If I look at my page, you can see I already have James. I'm trying to type, it's showing me that James is already a content available here, not like placeholder where as you're trying to type it cleans off. No. So because I have a value already called James, anything I type is attaching to the value already. Are you guys with me? So value is for value is supposed to be what the user is going to fill in, what the user selects, what the user fills in. That's what takes the place of this value. All right. So to an extent, currently now we don't really need a value yet. All right. Good. So like I said, there are a whole lot of input types. In the next video, we're going to be looking at the input type called radio, the input type called checkbox, and select input type. All right. So see you guys in the next video.